morning. Good morning. It is Tuesday morning, August the 5th. Rise and shine. This is Coffee Talk. We get together 7 days a week, chat about what's going on in the world of weather. Of course, the big story this time of year so often happens to be the tropics. And looking out there now, we have Tropical Storm Dexter. We also have two other areas of interest with rising development chances, and we'll get to those in a moment. But first, let's take a live look at Tropical Storm Dexter with the 5 a.m. advisory, the most recent advisory. Maximum sustained winds are at 40 miles an hour. It's looking decent there on satellite presentation. Not expected to get much stronger at all. As a matter of fact, winds are at 40. The Hurricane Center thinks through about tomorrow afternoon, winds pick up to about 45 miles an hour. Then it starts to lose its tropical characteristics, becoming kind of a more cold chord low. It'll get up to 50 miles an hour, but as it cruises up past the Azores north of them, it'll just be a big gale, basically. It loses those tropical characteristics. Thus, it will no longer retain the name Dexter. We will not be tracking it. Okay, so there's that. Then, close to home, of course, we've got this old frontal boundary that may try to develop an area of low pressure. Already starting to see some convection, and the Hurricane Center has upped the development chances on this. 10% chance of development over the next 2 days' time, but over the next 7 days' time, there's a medium 40% chance of formation. And I would add that the models do seem to think something may try to get going here. So that's definitely going to be something that we'll have to watch closely, right? Yeah, sound good? All right. Now, that said, there's one other area, and this is the other area that's going to have my interest, and I'm sure probably yours as well. Out off the coast of Africa, watching a healthy wave coming out, and over the next couple of days' time, there is a medium 50% likelihood of formation. There's another wave out already in the Atlantic with that 50% chance of formation. So basically, we're starting to see the African wave machine begin. So to that point, let's do this, okay? Let's kind of get an idea of what the computer models have in store just to see where we're at. All right, we're going to kind of keep this view at home just because in the open Atlantic, yes, there are things, but we don't have to watch that so closely. All right, so let's do this. Let's do the mid-Atlantic, Southeast United States. That's a little too close. All right, we'll do so. There's Dexter pulling away. There's that next wave already trying to form, right? Kind of passing north of Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, getting over toward the Turks and Caicos. That's going to be a week from today. That's going to be August the 12th, the timestamp in the top right corner of your screen. All right, kind of going due north almost, deepening, and then going into the Carolinas around the 16th of August. Now, timing is going to be everything. So, if you've followed Coffee Talk for a while, you know that we like to look at teleconnections and cycling weather patterns. So, if this is quick like the GFS, then I would say that the Carolinas are probably going to be an area that needs to watch this. All right, that's around the 16th, for example. When we look at our cycling pattern, this is a part of the pattern we didn't really highlight early, but once we started to see it developing things, we highlighted it. This is the Chantal part of the weather pattern, and that Chantal part of the weather pattern highlights the Carolina coast. We saw something there end of May. We saw something there around July 4th, Chantal, and then August 12th through the 15th. If this storm system is quick enough, it would fall into the Chantal part of the weather pattern around that August 12th through the 15th. This is the 14th, for example. So it would be in that area. Now, if it misses that, then it becomes the slow Gulf low part of the weather pattern, which is more of a Gulf issue. And the timeline on that is going to be August 25th through September 3rd, which, when we look at the model data here, that's kind of what the European is showing. So let's switch over to the European model. And little area of low pressure around the 9th in the Gulf, nothing significant. But here it goes through time. It's further south. All right, now we're down around the Caymans. That's the 18th. That's the 19th. And now you've got kind of a big storm system entering into the Gulf around August 20th. It's slower, it's further south. That's why it would be the slow Gulf low part of the pattern. Okay. So again, it's going to depend on timeline. It's going to depend on a great number of factors. But the GFS and the European both developing a system. They're not agreeing on where it would go. They're not agreeing on when it would get there. So at this point in time, what do we know? There's going to be a system to track. Do we know anything more than that? No, we do not. Okay, let's take a look at the Euro AI model. We'll roll through time here. The Euro AI also trying to develop a weak, sloppy area of low pressure off of South Florida into the Gulf through about this upcoming weekend. Doesn't do much to like actually develop it, but there it is. And then here's the Euro AI model. Kind of going more Chantal than anything else. It's kind of splitting the difference. But either way, you've got probably a hurricane out near the Bahamas around August 20th. All right, those are single run deterministic models. This time of year, that's not exactly the best policy. That's not exactly the best thing to use because single run deterministic only tells you kind of one idea. It doesn't give you confidence or any of those things. So what we like to do is we like to use what is referred to as ensemble plots. Okay, so this is the GFS model that we just looked at. Once it runs the deterministic, the single run, it goes back and calculate, right? It goes back through and tries to give us other options and other ideas. So there's some ensemble development of something weak in the Gulf this weekend on the GFS ensemble. Got it. But we start to see members coming alive. There's the 13th of August around the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, down through about Jamaica and the Caymans. There's some ensemble support. And you notice it's from Texas Mexico border all the way over past Bermuda. But we've got ensemble support. So the GFS is like, I think something's going to happen from the Bay of Campeche all the way over to Bermuda. The tighter those circles are, the higher the confidence on where something would go is. You notice we don't have any tightening of those circles. So at this point, the GFS, even though the deterministic is giving us one solution, the ensemble product is very clearly saying we think something is going to get going. We just don't know where it's going to get going. And that's the important part of it, right? That's why you always look at ensembles when it comes to this stuff. All right, let's head over to the European ensembling. All right, there's a couple of those ensemble members. Look at kind of the top center of your screen, trying to develop something off the coast of Florida, South Carolina, Georgia, North Carolina. Not significant formation, but there's a chance, and that's why the Hurricane Center has highlighted that area. Also notice out into the Gulf, same kind of idea. All right, let's switch to the 0Z so we can go out further. There come the Hornets, though, around the 17th, 18th. Again, Bermuda to Mexico. That is a huge chunk of real estate that could see tropical development. So, what's the takeaway here? We are starting to see a rising threat of development, but in terms of where it's going to go, it is absolutely too early to tell. Okay, so for all of you that are here, when you start to hear people saying, I hear we're going to get a hurricane next week, what is the time code on this? 8 minutes, 46 seconds in a coffee talk? Share this. Explain to them that all those circles are not individual storms, those are individual model members trying to figure it out. And the Hornets are approaching, right? The idea here is from the Yucatan Peninsula to Bermuda. So, what good is this? What good are you, Mr. Meteorologist, if you tell me I don't know where a storm's going to hit? Nobody knows where a storm's going to hit. If they tell you where they know, it's a lie. So we're trying to find timing plays into this, weather patterns play into this. So at this point in time, we're growing confidence that around the 15th to 20th of August, there's going to be a storm system somewhere. Outside of that, it's too early. It's August 5th, though, for goodness sake. So it's okay that we don't know yet. So what good are you? Why should I listen to you? Because I'm giving you an idea that there's going to be something out there. That, I think, is a decent heads up. We know the long range cycling patterns, but you know, um, At this point in time, the ensembles are just letting you know something's going to happen. Euro AI ensembles. Something off the Carolinas. The Euro AI is wanting to bubble something up this weekend into the Gulf. Doesn't look like anything significant, but they're showing that. Okay. And then there's the Hornets. Notice the Euro AI is a bit slower. That's the 17th. Now, the Euro AI is still running. So this is as far out as it runs right now on the 6Z run. That's 294 hours out. So it's still rendering. But if I go out to the 0Z run, there's all the Euro AI Hornets, right? So after the 15th, there's no confidence on where something could go other than as to say we're starting to get into that active stretch, right? So to that point, next storm name would be Aaron. Too early to tell what, if it's Carolinas, if it's something off the coast of Africa, if it's something that wants to try and get going over the Gulf. But yeah, that's the next name. Okay. All right. So that's where we're at. Do you all have any questions, comments, concerns about the tropics? The good news is that for right now, the areas that are expected to develop are of no immediate threat to us. We're watching that area off the coast of the Carolinas, not a huge concern. We're watching that area that wants to develop out over the Atlantic, not a huge concern. We have to watch and see how this all goes. But again, I'd say in the next 10 to 15 days, there's going to be things to watch, right? Okay? That's right. Chris says forewarned is forearmed. That's right. Kevin, you're weak and worthless. Drop and give me 20. I know, right? But there's what I love is that there's people that are like, I need to know. Or you're worthless because you can't tell us. Yeah. Roberto says Burris is hyping up. Drink. Jessica on YouTube is asking, you don't think we could have another Matthew by riding the coast, do you? Listen, man, anything's possible. The tropics are gonna. are- Thank you, Oliver. Aaron, yeah. Paige is asking, should I be worried about my cruise to the Bahamas this Friday through Monday? This time of year, it's just the way it goes. Don't worry. Just let's stay tuned. We'll stay dialed in. You don't need to worry. Yeah. Tara says we watch and wait per the usual. That's it this time of year. That's all we can do. That's literally all we can do. So let's just do that. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine to do it. We got this. It's hurricane season, y'all. Kristen says, if you have not gotten your hurricane supplies, now is the time to get them. Don't wait. That's true. Tim says, you do tend to hype the no hype thing. Oh, that'll be a hill I die on. But I will say this, right? Like, there's a lot of hype out there. What's that meme? That meme video? It's a cold world out there. Could you see if the BSR supports one model over the other? Sure. We were looking at it a couple of days ago. I haven't looked at it in a couple of days, though, so why not? Stand by. Let me get this all dialed up. So the BSR, this is a somewhat non-traditional. All right, I got my calendar here. This is a somewhat non-traditional method of looking at things. Let's look at it together. All right. Got something out in the Gulf. Nothing significant. That's around the 13th, 14th, 15th, but it wasn't anything significant. Now there's an area of low pressure there around the 17th, 18th, 19th in the Gulf. So that timeline fits the 17th, 18th, 19th. Yeah. There's, yeah, I mean, it looks more like a Gulf thing around the 17th, 18th, 19th, which would be early. There's an area of low pressure there, though, around the Carolinas. around the 16th, 17th, 18th. No huge signals. I mean, that's a decent one there, but it's not coming from the ocean, so I don't suspect that that would be. Yes, sir. I am not done. What are you guys doing? I've got another 15 minutes. Are you guys good for another 15 minutes? It's not an hour, it's 15 minutes.
Please, can we please play Magic again?
We can play that in a little bit, okay?
But why?
But why? You're starving? Well, in 15 minutes, I can get you guys something. I love that you waited until I was on to do that when I asked you earlier about it. Oh, I did. Are you wiping your nose on my shirt?
No. I'm hugging you.
Okay, as long as it's a hug. All right. So that's an interesting low there. This time of year, this is just this product is not great to use. What is that, August 4th? 2021, 22, the low in the Gulf. It's just, yeah, I would be more like that low there in the central Gulf that ends up into like the Big Bend, the Panhandle. But there's no home runs on this. That's the problem. This time of year, this is more of a winter type product. You know what I mean? That's what is that? That's like the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, still tracking a low in the like around Mobile Bay. That would make sense. Yeah. So, I mean, again, the BSR is just not a great tool this time of year. It's just not. So, we'll use it and we'll track it. All right. Any other questions about the tropics? Otherwise, we can come back and look at our local stuff. Cindy, I know, right, Cindy? Oh man. Pat, I'm the human tissue for my right. I'm just like, did you get me? I don't think you did. Okay. Mm. Ah, the ghosted woman parenting never dull, right? Never dull. Another on your shirt and hungry when I know it's Kara, you know how that works. Yep. Don't starve your kid. I know. What I'm doing here. Oh man. Okay. All right. Got about another minute before we ask the questions. About another minute about the tropics. I'll wait. Don't you worry. I'll wait. I'm good to wait. I'm good. All right. Questions. Can we use the Mooney to spread some Sahara dust? I know, right? I don't think I have the weight and balance available to do really what we need to do, but I digress. Hey, I need to fix that picture. Look at that. It's coming out of the frame. Dag nabbit. All right. Going once, going twice, and sold. Okay. Yesterday you may have seen we had ourselves a tornado warning. And guess what? Preliminarily, a tornado touched down near Pine Grove area, Nova Road 192 from about 7:15 to 7:18. So gonna get more data on that, but yeah, did not hear of any injuries or more, so that is certainly good news. Don't want to hear of any injuries or anything like that. Um, but it just kind of goes to show you Florida's gonna Florida. Outside live, at least if you're watching this on the live broadcast at 8:19 in the AM, that's a gorgeous shot. Lake Dora to Varies. Oh, skies are clear. It is beautiful. Our first warning live Doppler radar showing some storms out over the Gulf. Let me loop this. What range are we scanning? I feel like Cam probably set the radar on a severe mode yesterday and we never reset it. I'm guessing I'm correct. Let's go back to 650. Hold on. We'll go back to a normal mode. Perfect. All right. So the radar will reset its range here in a second. Yeah. See how I extended that range? Added a couple of those showers? All right, that's better now. Oh, and then turn off second trips. We don't need that anymore. Okay, second trip is off. Okay, very good. All right. Yeah, as soon as I saw that, I was like, huh, that radar range is a little fakakta. Anyway, you kind of see the rains are beginning here around Ocala. And you could see as that range gets kicked in that last second there. She had it in a severe weather mode, which anytime I see another member of the team actually manipulating the radar's settings, I'm always proud. I'm always proud. Love seeing that. Got to use the tools we have available for us. Temperatures out the door, upper 70s, lower 80s. I turned off the new Smyrna reading a couple of days ago because it was dead. Yeah, it's still dead, showing 91. Okay, so we don't need to turn that back on. All right, so that's good. Forecast for today, let's take a look. 95 degrees our high temperature. It's going to be a stormy afternoon, 60% coverage of showers and thunder showers. Let's dial up Futurecast, kind of get an idea of when and where those storms get going. Stand by. All right, here's Futurecast this morning, looking beautiful. I'll bring it full screen for you. Looking good. 12, 12:30, 1 o'clock, starting that west coast sea breeze. 2, 3, 4, 5. Kind of see those storms bubbling on up and moving on through and then going widespread. Yeah, look at that. Dinner time, stormy weather. And then by about 7:30, 8 o'clock, kind of clearing on out, looking better and better and better into the evening. Love that. Love that so much. So much. All right. 7-day forecast. Central Florida's certified most accurate, showing a healthy dose of showers and storms these next couple of days. 60, 70% coverage. First day of school. Monday, the school bus is there. What? Can you believe it? Man, can you believe that? Love it. Right? All right. That's what we've got. Storms around. Questions, comments, concerns. Deborah says we got a nice 3 1/4 in Port Orange. Good gravy, you got some rain. What did I get yesterday? Stand by. The sky was angry last night with all that lightning. So true. Oh, Joanne, that sounds fun. I mean, tomorrow you're gonna have storms too, so just go do your thing. Don't worry about it. All right, rainfall. Ooh, I got 0.84 inches of rain yesterday, almost an inch at the house. Ugh, the coffee went cold. What's the drought monitor showing? Oh, yeah. Well, today's Tuesday, so they're calculating a new one that'll be out Thursday. See here. But there's the drought monitor. Not looking too bad. When we look at the rainfall for the year, though, that's where you still see that we're into a deficit in many locations. But such is life. All right. All right. Questions, comments, concerns? Congratulations, Becca. Love that. Erica says tons and tons of thunder and lightning, lots of heat lightning, but not really any rain. So I have to say it, Erica. There's no such thing as heat lightning. That's just lightning either cloud to cloud or way distant stuff. Yeah. But yeah, there's no such thing as heat lightning. It's crazy. I know. I know. Michael, good morning. Long time no here. It's been a very long time. Glad to see you. Models are guidance, not gospel. You got it. You got it. All right. That's what we got. Tracking the tropics at 10, my friends. We'll see you soon. I know lightning is hot, Oliver. You're right. All right. I'll see you all for tracking the tropics at 10. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you so much for hanging out. And then we've got the dollar movie, the kids. I gotta keep these goobers entertained. Put a hamster wheel in here. All right. I'll see y'all later. Bye.